we raised our children in a Christian home. They went to church with us, but there's this transition that happens from childhood to adolescence to adulthood where, well, when they're younger, it might be enough that they might feel confident because their parents believe something. As they get older, they really need to be able to believe it themselves, because so many kids get to the college age, go off to college, and they haven't done that, and then they don't have a firm grasp on their faith. So we really felt like it was important that we do what we can to help them own their faith.
Yeah. And they had a lot of questions that we couldn't answer. And one of our children was attending a school where some dynamics were happening and more questions were coming, and it felt very intense. And it just seemed like there were more questions than we could answer, and kind of a tone which scared me a little bit as a mom. And so we sat them down at one of our family dinners, and I asked them, I would really love for you to do something for me as a mom. This is not a guilt trip, but I feel like we've prepared you in so many ways. But this is one area I feel like we haven't prepared you well enough or good enough. And would you be willing to go to a camp together? You will learn about apologetics, about different worldviews, and really decide what you believe, if you believe it for yourself and why, and be able to articulate that to others and to your friends. But I would feel so much better as a mom that I could leave this earth knowing that I have given you everything that you've needed to make the decisions that you need to make for yourself. And would you be willing to go? And they said yes.
Well, they don't know the whole story. So they're going to find out later.
Oh, we're gonna break. Okay.
Okay. So my name is Sabrina Page. I am Anna and David's daughter, and I'm currently 23. I went to Summit when I was 18 years old, immediately after graduating high school. So the area that I went to school in was very liberal, and there's a very different worldview than my parents had. So I would come home with a lot of questions for them, which, as my mom had mentioned, she really wasn't prepared to answer those questions. And me being very analytical, which I assume I get from my dad, for me it was much more of an intellectual problem than an emotional one. Because I've heard a lot of people struggle with Christianity because they might not want it to be true, because that means they would have to change how they lived their lives. For me, that was not the case. For me, it was I just couldn't answer certain questions. And in the environment I was in, and my peer groups, and some of the adults in my life, just taught me to be very angry with things, especially with a lot of third wave feminism and some things I experienced that were truly bad, but kind of convinced me that the world was against me in a way, and that I had to fight for everything. And I guess more than that, I never felt like there wasn't a God, but I didn't know if Christianity was true. By the time I was graduating high school, I had decided, and this is what my parents don't know, so they'll find out from this video, I had decided that once I graduated high school, I was not going to be a Christian anymore.
I am not a Christian because this works for me. I'm a Christian because it's true. And I would much rather be in an inconvenient truth than in a convenient lie.
At Summit, I decided that Christianity was true because of the evidence for Christianity, that it was the worldview that made the most sense, that I knew God existed, and I now had the answers to all of my questions. And some of the lies I had been taught, especially about women and things like that, that weren't at all true, and that, if anything, Christianity is the worldview that gives women the most value throughout history and the most love from God. That I guess I felt really seen for the first time, and that I had a place in Christianity that just gave me so much meaning in my life.
I would challenge families out there who have children that are are growing up, going through the adolescent stage, getting ready to go to college, that to really consider making this investment in their children. And for those of you who have experienced Summit, who've seen the kind of value it has in their own family, to not just be happy that they've seen that the dividends it's paid in their family, but to pay it forward by partnering with Summit and helping other families experience what they've experienced.